Hey everybody, it's John, and I'm going to do my update today for day 12 of my 30-day juice fast. Today it is Monday, January 20th, 2014, and it's 10 p.m. And I'm going to bed because I am tired. I worked 13 and a half hours today, so I'm exhausted and I'm ready for some sleep. Today was a great day. I hit the 20-pound mark today in my weight loss, actually 20.1 pounds, so I'm really excited for that. It's a big deal when you hit like a number like that, 20 pounds in 12 days. I don't know that I've ever done any kind of diet or exercise plan that had me lose 20 pounds in 12 days. When you hit the 20-pound mark, let's say if back when I did P90X, you celebrate because you lost 20 pounds and you're really working your butt off. But I feel like I'm kind of cheating because I'm not really working my butt off except for cardio a few times a week, and I lost 20 pounds, and I'm really happy about that. I had great energy today, and all through the weekend, I'll touch base on that again, because yesterday I was also only home for a matter of an hour and a half, maybe, because if you remember from my last vlog on Sunday, my car got locked into the garage, so I didn't really get home till yesterday afternoon. And then I was home for an hour and a half, then left again and got back home probably at 9 o'clock or a little bit later than 9 o'clock. So I had a great successful weekend, and today was a success too. One thing I wanted to share with you guys was the recipe that I've been making. I think the past 3 dinners that I've had that have been warm has been the same recipe, and I found it on a website. It may have been Reboot with Joe, but it could have been a different website. But I modified it a little bit just based on what I had on hand. And I find this a really great juice if you warm it up on the stove. Again, don't let it come to a simmer. That's way too hot for that juice. You might start killing some nutrients. But it's 3 Roma tomatoes, 1 zucchini, and let's see, a quarter of a red onion. I know that sounds weird, but go with me on this. 2 big handfuls of spinach, 2 carrots, and 1 sweet potato. So you juice all that. I get about 16 to 20 ounces of juice out of that, and then I put it into like a 1.5 quart saucepan on the stove, and I put in a little bit of salt, some black pepper, some garlic powder, paprika, and cumin, and red pepper flake. So I just let that warm up, and it's just become the best thing. Especially it's winter time, so the nights are colder. It's really just become the best thing, and I look forward to it, to having it. Now, I was having a conversation today with a coworker, and if I were to go back to, let's say, day 1 and drink that, it would have probably not tasted great. Probably would have tasted like vegetable soup, but probably a little on the weak side because it's not very heavily seasoned, right? Yeah, I want the taste of vegetables to come through, and I'm really noticing that on day 12 that I taste food differently. Salt is much saltier. Things that are sweet are much sweeter. So this morning I had a carrot, apple, lemon juice from Reboot with Joe. That's one of his recipes, and I found that was way too sweet. It's like 4 carrots and 4 apples and 2 lemons. But even with the 2 lemons in there, it's way too sweet. I would have cut it with something. I'd probably cut it with kale or something like that because it's too sweet. Um, yeah. Oh, the other thing I did want to share with you guys was about tea and drinking herbal teas, maybe with some stevia in it for sweetness. And the tea that I found that I really like, now this is probably dependent on your personal preference, but I prefer iced tea. I don't like it hot. Rarely, if ever, do I like hot tea. I'm from Georgia, so iced sweet tea is the way to go. But even if it's not sweetened, I really do prefer it cold. So what I've been doing is I've been making a half-gallon of tea. And one of my favorite teas is the Celestial Seasonings, Celestial Seasons Bengal Spice Tea. It's like chai tea without the milk in it. It's got all the spices, cardamom and vanilla and cinnamon and I think nutmeg is in there, things like that. It's a really delicious tea by itself. But what I've been doing to make a half-gallon of it is I'll take 2 of those tea bags and I'll mix it with 4 of my whatever iced tea brand tea. that you use. And so I make that and I just put it in the fridge. And then if I want to sip on it, during the day, I can. And you'll notice that the Bengal spice tea, or at least I notice now, I probably didn't notice it that much before, but the Bengal spice tea is actually sweet on its own. When you mix it with the other tea, it does get that, tea taste. I don't really know how to describe that. It's not bitter or anything, it just tastes like unsweetened tea. And growing up on sweet tea, that's a bit of a disappointment for me. But going back to how sweet tings, I cannot talk. It is way too late for me for my brain to function. Um, Grew up on sweet tea, but because of this juice fast, sweet things taste sweeter. You taste flavors a whole lot more. At the company party, like there's bread. I could smell the yeast in the bread. I could smell the sugar in the bread. I could smell it, and I think that just my taste buds are changing. So normally, no matter what kind of sweetener I would have used, if it was like regular sugar, it's like a half a cup of regular sugar for a half gallon of tea. That's probably way overboard. But you know what? It's just how I grew up making it. So I got some stevia. Ordered it online because you can get a bigger pack for less money than what you'd pay for in a store. And I was tempted to use like a half a cup because it says it measures like sugar, cup for cup, this stevia and the raw stuff that I got. And I'm like, I think that's going to be way too sweet for me. And so I did a third of a cup in a half gallon of tea, and that it's still like I'll drink it because I've made it, and again I don't like to waste things, but it's way too sweet. So I'll probably go to like a quarter cup and see what that does for me. Yeah, I just thought that it's a fun fact to share, and it probably will change the way I eat from now on. I mean, it's you take away all those things, all the sugar, all the salt, all the really strongly flavored things, and then you're drinking just juice, and so you learn to appreciate the flavors of the foods that you're eating, and two, um, your palate becomes more sensitive to new things. So I had mentioned on a videos, I mean, this is probably day 3 or 4, maybe even day 5, about blood oranges because they're in season right now. And I had purchased some at the store, and I have them in my fridge. And I'd mentioned they had like a floral note, right? So they made my whatever juice I was drinking. Let me adjust my camera here. Tastes a little like like perfume, very floral. Tasting. It tastes like how perfume smells. Some perfumes. And so I was cutting one today. Cut the rind and the pith off because that's really bitter. You do leave some pith on, though I've learned because that's where a lot of nutrients are. But I was cutting that off today, and there was I made a bad cut, and there was a lot of blood orange on there, and so I like squeezed it and put it into a glass. I'll see what it tastes like by itself because I've actually never just juiced a blood orange and tasted it, and I've only had like blood orange flavored things, like blood orange flavored little. There's a company called Dry Soda that I really love. It's 4 ingredient type soda, and there's one blood orange flavored, and it's really good, but it doesn't really taste like a blood orange now that I actually had one. And it blew me away today once I tasted just that, and I know that my palate is changing. But the flavor in that, and this is like, if you've never juiced before, this probably sounds crazy talk, but the flavor in that it was spectacular, spectacular. And I was able to appreciate it because I know that, 13 days ago, I would have had that and been like, oh, it's great, but I don't think I would have truly appreciated the flavor that it does have. And the flavor that everything brings, because now that I've been juicing for a while, I'll know the flavor combination just by like reading the ingredient list. So I know what that'll kind of taste like. And so if I read something, I'm like, doesn't sound too good. I can adjust it on the fly and know what it'll taste like when I juice it. So that's really exciting to me. Probably not exciting to anybody else unless you're on a juice fast. But yeah, I'm really excited for these 12 days, for 20 pounds lost. That's really got me stoked. Again, over the weekend, I was just trying on clothes that I have here in my closet, and things were fitting me that weren't fitting me before. So another really exciting change to happen is when you start to notice changes in your own body. Now, I was looking at a video And I'm not great at editing videos, so I'm going to try to put a picture of my face, like copied from that video. I watched the first video I did, and I'll see if I can mimic the same angle that I was at here. So it's kind of like this, right? I was kind of like in a chair looking down at my screen, probably maybe even like this. Like try to get like as bad as an angle as possible. No, not quite bad. But I was watching that video, and my face right here, just like this part, like from my cheekbone down to my chin, was round. It was round. Like I'm going to show you this picture. It was round, and look, it's now more angular in my face. And when I notice the changes, like you see yourself every day in the mirror, but when you notice the changes, it really starts to have an impact. Now I still have to lose like. There's not a whole lot to grab right there, but it bothers me when I see it. Like I can kind of see it right there. See where my chin is? I'm kind of looking down, so that makes it worse. But I can kind of see it right here. This little neck wobble action. I'll be really excited once that is gone. But yeah, my face is becoming more angular. My cheekbones are popping out more. Yeah, I'm just really excited about those kind of things. And again, this camera angle, if I'm looking at you like this, it looks like I only have one ear. That just, again, it is way too late. My brain is done. I'm like, yeah, I do have two. Oh, interesting fact though, this one has an earlobe. See? Little earlobe hanging there. This one does not. So my dad has this, so not really an earlobe. My mom has earlobes, so I have a little tiny one over here. Anyway, fun fact about me, I have one earlobe, which is why I'd never get my ears pierced because it would look really weird, and I don't think I'd ever do that anyway. But I said I'd never get a tattoo, and I did get my first one. I showed you guys in a video where I just got it, but now it's starting to heal. So it says hope, but on my camera it probably looks backwards. It's starting to heal up. It's you know, got some still got some scabs on it and things like that. But yeah. Anyway, I rambled long enough. It's like 12 minutes into this video. So I will see everyone tomorrow for the recap of day 13. Good night.